It wasn't the Pope's apology that I wanted. I wanted the apology to come from the Sisters of St. Anne. My name is Nancy Saddleman, and I've lived in Colchana born and raised in Merritt, and lived in Colchana most of my life. Of course, as a child, I can hardly remember that much of it, and then our mom passed away when I was 5. Priest came and took us directly from the house to the school, and not being able to stay with the family after Mom was buried. There was no grieving for us. We just went directly to the Indian school. They used to come and pick us up on the reserve, and we all had they loaded us onto a cattle truck, and if it was raining, they put a tarp over the top, and if it wasn't raining, they didn't put anything on top. There was no seats to sit down on, and it was I don't remember the ride from Colchana to Kamloops, but I could imagine we were pretty tired by the time we got there, because we had to stand up because the truck is usually full of children. There's 3 categories. They had us as juniors, intermediates, and seniors, girls' side and boys' side. I hardly ever saw my sisters because they were intermediates or seniors, and I was just a junior, and I never ever saw them because we weren't allowed to go from juniors to visit our sisters in the intermediate room. I didn't know one word of English when I arrived there as a child. I didn't know nothing. Well, they did teach me how to read and write and speak English. Oh, same with math, social studies, English, how to sew, how to be clean. I was involved in a dance group from the time I was an intermediate until when we get into grade 10, then they took us out of the dance groups and the choirs. I was involved in the choirs. We had a senior choir, and it was all just the senior choirs that sang. And a dance group, I learned how to dance the Irish jig and the Dutch dance and the Mexican hat dance. Education was really important to me. Like when I was in grade 11, one of the fellows wanted me to quit school and we'd get married, and I said no. I'm going to finish grade 12, and then I'm going to become a nurse. So that's what I did. Father Dunlop put me into the Vancouver Vocational Institute and to take up nurses training, practical nurses training. Never been other than Kamloops. When I got to Vancouver, I was just scared. I mean, all these big buildings and all these people, white people, you know. But you know, when I got to Vancouver, when I walked into the room, all I saw were the white students, and I thought, oh my God, what am I getting into? Because I've never seen the classroom like that before. So I stood there thinking really fast, what am I going to do? And I thought, no, I'm going to step forward, and I want to be a nurse, and that's what I'm going to be. So I stepped forward into the classroom, finished my course, and I'm glad I did that. It's very important to remember and learn our language and culture, because we're losing it really fast, and we're losing our elders, the fluent speakers. from the Upper Nicola band. I'm the only elder that knows how to read, write, and speak the language. My elders are all fluent speakers, but they don't know how to read or write the language. And I think there's maybe only about 14 left in our area of the Okanagan language. The younger generation don't want to learn it, because nowadays the reason why people made moccasins and gloves and clothing and all that was because they didn't have Walmart and they don't like to go pick berries anymore because now they have Safeway and Save on Foods. They just have to go to the stores and buy their jams, strawberry jams and whatever. But and as for clothes, well, they don't want to learn how to tan deer hide and make moccasins and gloves because I don't know, maybe because it's too hard. The Okanagan language should be put into the high school because when they leave grade 7, that's it for them. And now if they continue to learn the language, like if I had continued teaching the language here when I was here way back when, some of them would have finished grade 12 knowing how to speak the language, because the language is so hard to learn, and you need to continue using it and using it and using it, and they stop it in grade 7 and that's it. For myself, it was the nuns. They were called the Sisters of St. Anne. All the years I was there for 14 years. I can count in one hand the nuns that were decent to me. I know the boys were being punished and not treated well by the staff like the girls were, but I think the boys had it worse than the girls did. I seen a lot of abuse, and I was always told that the nuns and the priests were God's people, and that we were not to disobey them. And when I seen all children getting strapped or punished in some way, I thought, well, I guess maybe they deserved it because they didn't obey God's people. That's one thing that school didn't take away from me, was my friendships. I organized a school reunion, and it was very successful. Over 1,000 people showed up, and it was a real good feeling to be able to get together that way and to reunite with our friends. I even invited the priests. I don't know how successful in later years it would have been, because when everything came out, did people feel the same way about the nuns and the priests? I know I was asked one time if I still pray. I pray in my language. I've been trying to go back to church. I do when I feel like it. When I seen the Pope apologize, I can remember him reading. To me, it didn't come from the heart. He was just reading what was on the paper in front of him. When I apologize to somebody, I look at them straight in the face and tell them exactly how I feel. I still feel hurt. The money that we received was, I mean, it paid for the bills, but it didn't take the hurt away. Because when I was in Kamloops school, I accepted the way they treated us because I thought, well, we must be bad, so I guess that's the way we should be treated. But that wasn't the case. We were human beings. We had feelings, which I didn't know what love was. I didn't know what a mother's love was like because Mom died when I was 5 and I grew up in Kamloops school. I spent most of my time there. So when I became a mother, I didn't know how to be a mother. We didn't know how to be parents. We didn't know how to show love. We didn't know how to say, I love you. Because we were never told that in school.